Hi there and welcome to part 4 of my video series on blues improvisation. In the last 3 episodes I showed you which scales you can use over a major blues progression and how to spice up your improvisations, solos and rhythms even more by adding tetrets to the mix. Today I want to show you how you can gradually and systematically master fast and impressive runs when you're soloing. And as always, you can download all of the backing tracks from this video as well as a very helpful PDF document with a step-by-step guide if you click on the link in the video description or the first pinned comment. So let's dive right in and first define what playing fast actually means. In general, fast playing means that at tempos between 120 BPM and 170 BPM, you're playing 16th note licks and runs, so 4 notes per beat. I'm pretty sure most of you are already familiar with 16th notes, but here's a quick improvisation from me over a 150 BPM metronome so you can get a feel of what that sounds like. Now at slower tempos between 80 and 120 BPM, you need to play 16th note triplets if you want to sound fast. So that means playing 6 notes per beat. And since a lot of you might not have worked with 16th note triplets yet, and since triplets are more relevant for this video, I'm also gonna play 2 examples for you here, one at 60 BPM and one at 110 BPM. So why triplets and not 16th notes? Blues is rhythmically ternary. That means the feel is based on groups of 3 rather than 4. You can easily see that if you check out a typical drum groove. In my lessons and many of my videos, I use a free drum machine called Hydrogen. You can also download it via the link in the video description. Using a drum machine to study rhythm will really help you level up fast, trust me. If you look at the hi-hat in a typical blues groove, like the one I created for the downloadable backing tracks, you'll see that it plays consistent 8th note triplets here. You're probably also familiar with the standard blues riff that uses a power chord as well as a 6th added on beat 3, and every second accent of that riff actually lands on a triplet before the next downbeat. So it's that riff. So that's why it's also really important that your licks and runs are also based on triplets, so they'll fit with the overall groove much better. Sure, you can also play 16th notes, but they just don't blend with the groove that well. But now here's a little challenge when it comes to playing a slow blues. The tempo we're using here is just 55 BPM. And since 16th note triplets only start sounding fast at 80 beats per minute, the question is, what do we do to sound fast when we're playing that slow? Let me show you a few 16th triplet runs over the backing track at 55 BPM to demonstrate what they sound like. While that already sounds a little faster, you've probably seen guitarists tear it up even more over a slow blues. And that's because they're not playing 16th note triplets anymore, they're playing 32nd note triplets. And that's a whole different beast, especially for beginners or even intermediate players, because you can't count them easily like 16th note triplets, and they require really solid technique in both hands. Here's a quick taste of what 32nd note triplets sound like. So how do we build up to this level? Don't worry, rhythmically it's not that complicated. We'll go through 3 steps here. Step number 1 is to get comfortable with 8th note triplets. So we'll start playing simple 8th note triplet runs over a blues backing track or a drum groove in Hydrogen, and we'll use the hi-hat to lock in with the triplet feel. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So once you're comfortable with playing and counting these eighth note triplets, to get faster with these, you can gradually increase the tempo either using a metronome or the hydrogen drum machine. So with the hydrogen drum machine, it's actually a little easier because all you need to do is create a new pattern here, then select eighth note triplets and use the stick element as a secondary metronome here, so basically as a guide. And then you can also activate the metronome up here, and now you'll hear the 55 BPM 4/4 click, but your eighth note triplets from the stick element. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And what you can do now is slowly increase the tempo, so you go from 55 BPM to 65 BPM, and practice a few runs here and a few licks, and then you'll increase the tempo until you've reached 110 beats per minute. Because that is actually step number 2. You'll move on to 16th note triplets at 55 BPM. Because if you can play 8th note triplets at 110, simply go back to 55 beats per minute now and you'll be able to play 16th note triplets. So step 2 is now all about getting a feel for the 16th note triplets, playing over the blues backing track at 55 beats per minute, but then also slowly increase the tempo using your hydrogen drum machine again up to 110 beats per minute. This step can take months depending on how much time and focus you put in, but it's totally worth it. You'll see real progress, and with the right exercises and system you can track your improvement clearly. And keep in mind, 16th note triplets are used in lots of styles: rock, metal, funk, country and more. So you're building a universal skill here. And then of course with step 3 you'll unlock 32nd note triplets at 55 BPM. Since 16th note triplets at 110 BPM are the same as 32nd note triplets at 55 BPM. So once you've mastered step 2, you're ready to play fast, clean and bluesy even in a slow blues setting. Let's now go through a few exercises for step 1 here. If you want to play fast and musically, you need to get familiar with cascading licks. These are repeating figures that you can use to rip through the pentatonic scale. They sound much more interesting than regular runs and are super effective. In this video I'll show you 2 of the most important cascading licks, and both of these had a huge impact on my own playing as well. So for lick number 1, you play a 6-note figure across 2 strings and repeat it throughout the first position of the A minor pentatonic. This is the lick. And there's 2 versions of this, so make sure to practice both. One is using hammer-ons and pull-offs, like I just played, while the other one uses alternate picking. Pay attention to the picking directions. Without the correct picking technique, you won't be able to build real speed. And in order to give you a better idea of what these licks sound like when you've integrated them into your playing, here's another short improvisation for you. But before you try speeding up that lick to 16th note triplets or 32nd note triplets, let's just learn lick 2 as well. This one is even more important because it sounds more musical and is more versatile. It comes in 2 versions, one for ascending lines and one for descending lines. So here's the one with hammer-ons and pull-offs. And here's the one where you pick every note. And again, practice both of these versions with a metronome before you speed them up. Here's an example for you with 55 beats per minute and 16th note triplets. Once you've got all of these licks down, really integrate them into your playing before speeding up. Otherwise, your fast runs would just sound like these licks over and over again, which gets boring really quickly. To help with that, check out the 4-note exercise from this video, which is linked above here. Just pick 4 notes and combine both licks with other phrasing ideas like bends, rakes, and slides. This will help the licks become part of your style and sound. So what you could do here is play something like this: lick number 1, lick number 2, lick number 1, lick number 2, another lick here, another lick, and just combine everything with some phrasing techniques. But yeah, after you've watched the 4-note exercise video, you will know what to do to get really good with this. Because once you've explored tons of ideas with just 4 notes, your longer runs will sound way more musical. Also try mixing in other licks like these Chuck Berry style classic rock licks that actually come from the blues. Combine them with runs and cascading licks for even more variety. And now you're ready to speed things up. Getting to 110 BPM may take a while, so make sure you keep improvising regularly with your backing tracks. Don't just practice, make music. Over time, your solos will sound better and better. And don't forget, even once you can play these licks fast, they'll only sound really musical and unique after you've spent a good amount of time with them. Once you can confidently play 16th note triplets at 110 BPM, you'll be able to use 32nd note triplets in your slow blues solo. And one final tip, don't overdo it. Speed is just a tool, and when you use it tastefully and at the right moment, your solos will sound awesome. So here's another improvisation for me where I'll only use these high-speed runs sporadically. So if you enjoyed this video, please also make sure to watch the other parts from this series. Please give this video and the other ones a like. Please subscribe to my channel to help me make it grow and also not miss any new content from me. And then I'll see you in the next video.